we're going to talk about some of the things that I think matter the most. And more than anything, the thing I think is just really exciting to think about in this business is you, that you can make all the difference. And I was just kind of looking back over all of the time I've been in Nikken, all these 20 plus years, and at moments when I picked up the telephone and talked to somebody, and how just that little hinge right there swung and changed the whole future. And that can happen with you, and I think we ought to swing it lots of times, because the whole key is that. And we've really been blessed with a wonderful business and made a difference in the lives of a whole lot of people. But I just got this gut feeling in me that we've got a lot left to do, and that certainly the best is yet to come. And I just want to personally invite you to be a major part of that. Why not you? When I first was looking at Nikken, I was reading something that someone said as far as visualization, and they said, imagine yourself off in the future at the head of a vast empire. And that was the word that they used, empire. And I just thought, wow, empire building, that stirs the soul, and I hope it will with you too. But just some exciting things that's happened recently was, in fact, just this idea of how one person can make all the difference. And if you talk to somebody, and it was about a week ago that I got a call from somebody young, fresh in the business, full of enthusiasm, and I said, yeah, let's go for it. And I said, probably the best thing I can do to help you is let's do some three-way calls, and just think of all the people that you know. Who do you know that you really like a lot and would like to do business with because you think they have what it takes? And I would say just fundamentally it's ambition, self-motivation, and just hungry. They want to do something. And so all of a sudden, one after another, bam, 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 I talk with 3 of his hard-charging people. And not just that, but then they live pretty close to Viggo, who is my foster sponsor. And Viggo, could you just talk a little bit about what happened? And I maybe to kind of kick it off, if you don't know Viggo, he's a good man, and he's a good foster sponsor, because he's done it. This is a guy that has earned a strong 7-figure income, been involved with several corporations, a couple of them from the ground up that have gone on to billion-dollar status, a Fortune 500 kind of guy. And as fate and good fortune would have it, he's become attracted to Nikken through our association with some very powerful training called RiTraining. He's the Executive Vice-President of that. And so, Viggo, I appreciate what you're doing for us, and tell the little story about Adam and how he brought his threesome down there.
Well, Adam wanted to get together, and I was willing to do that, and so we got together at a Denny's, and he brought us 3 people there, and we just kind of went through our training system, what I always kind of go through, the high-yielding questions. What do they want? What are they trying to accomplish? How would they like to see it happen? If they could make a life change, what would that look like? And on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad did they want to do that? And every one of them said there was at least a 10, 12, or 15 that they wanted to change. And then from there, I said, well, great. And then we just talked about the fact that they were in business. They were not recruiting people. They were not trying to get people involved as just from recruiting in the sense. They were talking to business people to be in their business. And that's what we really talked about, was find 3 or 5 people that you would like to be in business with, and then invite them to be in your business. And then show them that they can actually learn how to run a successful home-based business.
These are all talking points that you're using, and maybe just so it doesn't just slip by you, because this is powerful stuff. When I first got into Nikken, that was actually the phrase I used. I called people and I said, I've just made a career change. This is the best thing I've ever seen, and I want you to consider going into business with me. I've got a new friend who's very, very successful. He's coming into town, and I want you to meet him. And that was kind of the phrase, and I just wanted to really create this sense of expectancy and urgency that this is something big. In fact, that the next big thing. In fact, I still do that. So maybe you could just emphasize those high-yielding questions, maybe in a first-person thing, maybe even ask me that or something, just so people kind of get that, because this is the big thing. This is what we want to do every day, and if you do it and do it well in front of the right people, you just can't help but make good in this business.
Okay. Well, I have a sheet that actually basically is 5 columns, and in the first column, I just ask people who want to do this role play here is, Dave, what would you like to change in your life, or what would you like to see changed in your life?
Oh, how about everything?
Well, everything to you means one thing. Everything to me means something else. Could you be a little more specific?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've got a wonderful wife who loves me. I've got great kids. I want to keep that the way it is. But let's pretend I'm not in Nikken yet. And back in the olden days, I had a job I hated. It gave me lots of inspirational dissatisfaction. and so let's play like I'm right there. And as a parent, I would say, you know, I want my kids to have the things that I can give them. Everyone that's a parent would love to just offer them things to help them just have an edge and experience good things and all of those things. So yeah, I would like to just probably what is really concerning me is I'd like to wake up in the morning to something exciting to do rather than the dread of going to a job that doesn't pay enough and offers no satisfaction. So I'm ready for some changes, and for things to change, I got to change.
Okay.
I need something new to do.
Right. And so what are you doing now to make that happen?
Hopefully talking to you right now.
Well, good. So, and you did tell me a little bit, because the next question I would ask you is, how do you see that changing? What would it look like? And you did explain to me you'd like to get up in the morning and be excited about going something. You would like to do something that's going to help you to be able to spend more time with your children, because what you told me you wanted to do would mean that you would have to be able to spend more time with your children, to give them those traits, skills that you would like them to have. And so if we were able to do something like that, how would life be different?
Oh, golly. I think right now that on a Sunday afternoon, I start thinking, you know what, in just a few more hours, I'm going to go to bed, I'm going to wake up, and it's going to start all over again. I'm going to be doing something that I hate to do. The only reason I'm there is somebody's paying me. Not enough. I'm making absolutely no difference in the world, and I'm just getting wound up like a spring. I got to do something. This is dead end. I want to do something with my life. I don't want to just wind up all of a sudden old and finally dead and still have a full tank of gas in me. I want to do something. So I am so ready.
Well, and so that basically answered the question for me. So life would be different, and on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you want that?
Oh, right at the top. This is it. I'm ready.
Great. So if I could show you a way that you could do that, is there any reason why we couldn't go forward?
Oh, will you show me? Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
And that's basically the program. From there, I explained to them what we do is we build home-based businesses predictably. We teach people how to have a predictable home-based business, enjoy the tax advantages of those businesses. We train you how to train others to do the same thing so they can have the tax advantages of a predictable business and receive an override. And then we will teach them how to teach others to build a predictable business, and you'll get an override on those. So let me ask you, Dave, how many businesses would you like to have an override on?
Oh, lots of them, lots. And,
a lot.
And that what you just said there, I want to learn how to say that really good too. So I want to memorize that and say the same thing you're saying to lots of people too.
That's all you got to do is we build a predictable business, teach you how to build a predictable business, enjoy the tax advantages that come with that business. We'll train you how to train others to build predictable business so they can get the tax advantages and you receive an override, and so on through the process. And the way we do that is through a company called Nikken. And this is why. And then there you share your short little testimony of why Nikken, the concepts of its products. One of the things I have found, the more you start sharing about product or sharing about why you're in it, you're starting to give people questions to ask. Most of the time I can just say very quickly what Nikken does. The company's been around for a long time. It's a legacy company, and we build these products that have been proven over 20 years with thousands of testimonies of how these products have helped people. Do you have any questions?
When can I get started?
So that's basically the process. And from there, what we do is we give them the opportunity of finding out what their skills are. They can actually take a free assessment and find out what skills they need to know to build a network marketing business. And then from there, we have the training system that will teach them how to use those skills. One of the things we have found that in any other industry, everybody else trains their people how to be successful. For some reason, sometimes in this industry, we don't. We say, make a list, throw the people in the deep end, and see if they'll swim. And if they can't swim, you just say, well, flap your arms harder. And then they say, well, I'm flapping, but I'm still sinking. Well, flap harder. And then they'll ask you, is that how I did it? Yes, that's what I did. I kept flapping, and finally I found somebody. And that's not a successful system. A system is being able to teach people exactly what they need to do, predictably, and follow steps consistently. And Jeff has got some of the things to say, now that you've got those skills, here's what you need to do to be able to go forward and share those skills and those opportunities with others.
Oh, fantastic. It really does matter what you say, and don't try to do this alone. Don't be a lone ranger. This is a team business, and that's one of the most appealing things about this is being able to belong to a great group of people involved in something high and noble. And
well, and I might just add one more thing with this thing with Adam is when I was talking to these people, I said, can any of you right now around this table think of anybody, at least 3 to 5 people that you would like to be in business with? And every one of them had at least 2 people. Get those names, let's set them up, and let's talk with our other business partner, in this case, who would have been Adam.
And I believe all of them have since joined the team, and
Yep.
they're engaged and on. So thank you very much, Viggo. I appreciate that. Wow. Hey, Jeff, you recently had what I think is one of the signature things about Nikken. I think there's a lot of advantages that Nikken has over any other thing, just competitive advantages. One is our product. It's powerful, probably of any company there is in the world. And of course, to justify being in business, you have to have a product or service. We have the most life-changing, transformational product, period, anywhere, bar none. And the added advantage is often in just a very soft sell, show and tell like environment. When you go see somebody, most of the time people actually experience benefit in moments. Just a couple of days ago, we had a new couple that I met, and they've since signed up. Oh boy, we took them to lunch, but right before lunch they came over and found out she was in pain. We put product on her, and almost instantaneously she got dramatic benefit. And she actually had some magnets on her while we were having lunch, and it's fun to have that edge. The other advantage, I believe, is the not just the emotional satisfaction of taking away somebody's pain and making somebody better, but also humans being more. And that's one of the wonderful signature things about Nikken is that we make all of these wonderful products to actually pay for the real outcome, and that's just helping human beings realize their potential greatness. And this is a course that's been distilled from a lot of different ideas from Asia, from some of the top people as far as personal development in our country, long track record. And Jeff, if you could tell your story, because Jeff is one of the most beloved of all corporate facilitators in this powerful program. You've helped thousands of people, and it's got to be a wonderful job getting people to come and hug you and say thanks, you made the difference. And then as you see them move on in their career, where they just become completely different people. And talk a little bit about that, Jeff, and maybe give your background a little bit too. How did you get into this, and why are you doing it, and what keeps you going?
Well, my mother discovered Nikken, and she connected with one of the products that changed her life. She had multiple sclerosis, MS, and the MAG steps gave her her energy back. But the real product, Dave, that she connected to was this concept, this idea of humans being more. And we sometimes don't think of an idea as a product, but really my belief is that Nikken's greatest product is an idea. It's vision. The vision of the founder, Isom, this idea that people all over the world can be more than they thought they could be. That concept, that idea is taught in a class. that I first attended in 1996, did not want to go, had no interest. You know, my mom, I was a snot-nosed college kid. My mom forced me to go, made me go and sit in the room. And I went just to get her to be quiet, to leave me alone finally. So I went and fell in love with the concepts that anyone from any walk of life, any background, any age could become exactly who they were meant to be. And it was a fascinating, eye-opening 2 days for me. And I've been lucky to have been now for 14 years a facilitator with Nikken, and have had a chance to facilitate this class in 20 countries around the world. And it's been amazing to see people grasp onto this vision, this belief, this knowledge that we truly can make a difference in other people's lives. You know, if people are looking for something in this world, it's often not more stuff. Sometimes that can help. But often what people are looking for is true significance, true meaning, where they actually can make a difference. And Nikken is a company that teaches an idea that people, yes, can become all they were meant to be and that they can make a difference. And that's why I'm committed, completely committed to the concept, the idea that Mr. Masuda began sharing, that he shared with my mom, that through her shared with me, and that I now share with other people, this idea of humans being more. It's amazing.
Oh, absolutely. And you were just telling me a moment before we started the program about a training you did, and I think it's really fun because I look at Nikken and our future as new people. And I've heard it said, and it's worth repeating if you've never heard this before, that you can sponsor your way out of any problem, and that the magic answer to almost everything, the universal solvent or solution or whatever, is a new person. And that's one of the most fun things. In fact, over the course of things, I've seen people that were actually dead and they were resurrected when they found somebody new, and it just woke them up. And of course, as a new person, the best thing you can do is just help somebody get a new person, and they in turn get a new person. That's just the magic to everything. That fixes everything. If you're thinking, gee, I wish I could make more money, answer, sign up a new person. Can't get my group to go, get a new group. And it's just a fun thing. But here's a new person that took charge, and what happened out of that? A fairly new person.
Yeah, recently I attended a Humans Being More in which one person really made the difference in the class, the Humans Being More class. Our classes are usually attended by, you know, anywhere from 40 to 50 people, and this class was built almost single-handedly by one excited Silver, a woman who has been in Nikken for not that long, but she is so passionate about what she's doing that she talks to everyone. You know, you talk about this idea, find a new person. And if you think about it, other people are maybe one of the greatest pleasures in life. You're in first grade, and what do you want? You want a best friend. You want a best friend, because there's nothing like going out to recess and playing with a best friend. And you turn 16, and what do you want? You want a sweetheart to hold hands with at lunch. You know, there's nothing like having somebody next to you who cares about you and who you care about. Well, as you get older, if you carry that feeling into adulthood of really caring about being with other people, then that can serve as a foundation for doing great things. And it's certainly true in Nikken that if you care about being with other people, being around other people, it's a foundation for amazing results in life. And this woman really cares about other people, and she talks to people all day long about what she's discovered, about the passion she has for the future. And what she did almost single-handedly is created a class full of people who came and because of her hard work made amazing discoveries about themselves, changes about themselves. Their lives will never be different because she chose to reach out. It's not hard to reach out to other people because other people want to reach back. Sometimes we're afraid of each other, we have fear of each other, but there's no reason to. Other people are pretty much just like you. They want a best friend. They want somebody to hang out with at recess. That's what people want. So go talk to that person, whether it's on a plane, whether it's at the bus stop, whether it's the movie theater, the grocery store. Just say hi, smile, say hi, start a conversation. And if it evolves into talking about topics that have to do with Nikken, great. If it doesn't, you've got a friend for life. But the important thing is that desire to connect with people. And this class that you're talking about, Dave, that's why it happened, because one person had a desire to connect with other people.
Wow. When I first got into Nikken, I just thought, wow, I am so excited. And I was running along, doing pretty good. I was involved for a couple of weeks, and then my sponsor said, you need to go to this course. And I said, well, let me get in this a little bit more, get a few more people, and I'll bring them to the course with me. And he said, no, you just really need to go. This is invaluable. And I went, and I brought my recorder. Actually, I planned on recording the whole thing. And if you've been to this course, you know this isn't something that you record, so I quickly turned it off. But it just blew my mind. I just thought, here is a company that really has a heart and a soul that is something more than just a business selling products, however good they are. This is transformational. Another thing that really got me excited when I was there, it was in Portland, Oregon, where that course was being done. And I was going around introducing myself, and I met this lady, and I says, oh, how long have you been in Nikken? And she says, what's that? And I says, you don't know about Nikken? And she says, no, I just had a friend that said, you need to go to this course. And I said, oh, well, interesting. Where are you from? And she says, Orlando. but just the enthusiasm and just what this friend had shared with this lady got her enough to want to get on a plane and fly across the country and go to something she really didn't know anything about. And you know, if you can just get that enthusiasm, there's nothing like that, and it's contagious. And if you get on fire, you can light the fire of other people. In fact, Carlyle said something. Let me see if I can remember. He said that the great men were as lightning out of heaven. The rest of the men waited like kindling, and then they too came aflame. You know, something like that. And I love that thought that in this business, if we could get fired up, we can light the fire in others. And there's so many people right now that need some flames. There's so many people with what's going on out in the world economy, and here's a way not to participate in it, to actually march to a whole new game, that this can be your very best year right now financially. You can change everything if you've got the right program, and this is the program. And just go for it. Get excited. Get plugged in. Get a good mentor. Get a good upline, even if you have to find a foster one. But it's just so exciting to be anxiously engaged in a good cause, going out and doing good to other people, and I love having something to share. But hey, Viggo, tell us a little bit more about this great game that we're involved in, and why you ought to raise your game and do more. You really can, and all you need to do is just be inspired a little bit. And I've seen over and over again, just nothing is going on in a city, and then all of a sudden somebody just stands up and starts leading, and magic things happen.
Well, and that's true. And if you've got that passion, you've got that desire to be able to help other people, I can't think of a greater opportunity than having a Nikken business, being able to really share with people how they can improve their health, how they can improve their income, by just being able to be in tune with people. One of the things that I teach quite exclusively, and Clay Stevens in his book Ask, Listen, Repeat says, always be interested in people. Don't be interesting. find out what people want. And if you can find out what they want, you can pretty well show them how your opportunity, your business, may be able to help them. If not, then as Jeff said, you can become a great friend for a lifetime. Mm-hmm. Just being able to go outside of yourself and share with others. Become more human.
So maybe share a couple of your favorite stories of what you've seen people do when they had the desire and gained the skill. What can happen?
Well, I can give you a couple of them. And one of them was this lady that I've been working with. We're going on about 7 months. She's been in her company for 7 years, has been selling her product and pushing her product all the time with people. That's what she did. And finally, she came involved with our program, and I started teaching her. It says, you're not a salesperson, you're in business, and there are certain skills you need in business. So she started following our program. She had about 40 people in her organization, and so she started using the system. And after following this business proposition of finding people to be in business with, all of a sudden she found some stronger leaders, and her organization has grown from 40 to 2,400 in less than 7 months. And most of those people are still involved in her company, doing really, really well, and she's doing much better than she was doing before with having 40 people, business people in her business. She now has 2,400. That's one thing. The other thing is learning to know what people want and making sure that your product and opportunities really for them. I remember having one lady that had been in this industry probably close to 8-9 years, and she was going through the high-yielding questions with a lady, and the lady was telling her all these things she wanted to do, and she said, oh, it's going to be great. She's going to give me all kinds of 8s, 9s, and 10s, and the lady started giving her 7s and 5s and 6s, and she said, wasn't there anything on this sheet that you'd really like to change? And the lady says, no, I'm really happy where I am. I don't want to work any harder. I just not really want to do anything to change. And so she kept saying, she could hear Viggo in her head saying, don't share the opportunity, don't share the opportunity. So she finally said to her, well, I'm sorry, I guess I don't have anything for you, and left the home. And she said, my heart was beating. In fact, she started to cry when she got into her car. But she says, for the first time in all these years, I realized that I was in business and I was in control. And I asked her, so what happened? And she said, well, the lady did call me 2 days later. What was that opportunity you had? And I said, oh, and I suppose you started going and talking about the opportunity. She says, nope, I came back to what you told me. What's changed on the sheet? If nothing's changed on the sheet, I don't have an opportunity for you. She said, I've never felt so empowered in my life being able to say that to somebody, and now go find somebody who I really want to share this opportunity in this business with.
Well, yeah, I've heard it said that we're really not, begging people for things. We need to be in the offer of something that's just really wonderful. That if they get involved, they're going to benefit a lot more than we will. Sure, right. we benefit, and that's what we want to do, is get somebody, but we don't need any particular person. And right. Just like any corporation out there, they don't just hire everybody. There's an interview process, and that's one of my favorite things, is just meeting somebody new, might be on the chairlift at a ski resort or who knows where, and just be interested in somebody, ask them questions, and it's one of the most enjoyable things. Just be relaxed, don't have any pressure, oh, I got to get them. You just ask them questions, and if the chemistry's there, and you feel like you have something that they could benefit, then just get a name and a number, and it's fun to interview people, and they don't even know that you're interviewing them, but it just, and after a few years of doing this, you just can't help yourself. It just becomes a habit, and the antennas are up all the time looking for people. It isn't like, oh goodness, it's today's Wednesday and I've got to go to the mall and see if I can get some people. Oh, that's no fun at all. Just have fun with it, and that's powerful stuff.
It is. And one of the keys that she said to me was very interesting. A quote, she says, I did that before. I'm a great recruiter. I recruited 60 people, and 59 of them almost killed me because they weren't doing anything. And so it's really important to find people who want that. Many times I tell people, your opportunity is kind of like in the scriptures. There's a scripture that says, do not share your cast pearls before swine. You have a pearl, and you keep that very close to you. And don't share it with everybody. Find somebody else who wants to share it, who wants to be able to give it to other people. then that's the time to start sharing it. Don't share it any time that you think that you want to, or just what I call upchuck to people.
Mm-hmm.
Take the time to really find out what they want, really find out what's going to meet it. And believe there are people right now that are looking for Nikken. They are praying for you every day for Nikken. They don't know it's Nikken, but they're praying for something to help them improve where they are right now in their financial situation.
Well, I certainly know I was, and I like your analogy because Nikken is a pearl of great price. And I was in despair. I was praying, and Nikken came along, and I just knew. In fact, I tell people that inside I knew that I knew. I knew that I knew that I knew. I just knew this was the answer. And then a lot of my sales strategy was I thought, well, shoot, I'm not the only person that's in despair and praying and looking. And so I just added that in my prayers. Please help me find people that this could be the answer for them. And I've just looked at this as a sacred trust, that a stewardship, not a job, not even a business, but something wonderful that if I touch somebody, I could completely change them. And it's just a wonderful feeling that you can go out and meet somebody, and all of a sudden a whole new world unfolds. Something that comes forth that might. I like to tell people that if you get in this and run with it, that you could actually change the lives of thousands of people in the course of just a couple of years. That wonderful things can happen and unfold if you just go out and do that. And that's kind of what you're doing right now as part of the training is teaching us how to do that, huh, Jeff?
Yes, absolutely. And it's something that we must, commit to doing, and something we must commit to each and every day. It's not something we can do occasionally, but something we want to invest time in each and every day.
Yeah. Well, any call to action or parting words? What would you say to people at the end of that 2-day wonderful event? And also, I've got to do a little advertisement too, because not only is Jeff a wonderful facilitator, but he's a good friend and a very effective personal coach. I think it's a good idea to have an individual that you can just talk to and get some counsel with. And are you available if somebody just wanted to talk to you and maybe even have some ongoing support?
Yes, I work with people who are looking to change their lives in measurable ways to get results, concrete results in their life. And somebody could call me at 801-358-8560, or they could email me at jeffisom@gmail.com. And really have loved working with people and helping them to achieve exactly what they want out of life. The thing that I tell people at the end of Humans Being More is that it's really not a 2-day course, but it's a 365-day course. We choose to be more each and every day of our lives. And it's when we get in that habit that being better, that growing, that learning as a person is not something we do a couple times a year or maybe a couple weeks a year or a couple of months, but every single day we make that choice to invest in ourselves. Because it's when you make tiny investments over and over again that the snowball starts rolling. And you know what happens, Dave? When you're a skier, you know what happens when you take a small piece of snow and start rolling it down the hill. If it picks up some momentum and keeps on rolling, that tiny snowball becomes a huge avalanche at some point. And massive amounts of movement and pressure and force can become unleashed from a tiny little start. And the exact same thing happens in our lives when we make a choice to grow as a person and we then invest daily in that growth. We unleash this compounding effect, this explosion of all of those tiny little investments coming together, and a snowballing effect takes place where this exponential growth happens. And sometimes it can happen in a few weeks. Sometimes it takes a few months. But if people will make those small, tiny investments in themselves over time, they will reap tremendous rewards.
Oh, I love what you're saying there. And I think all of us, just the fact that we're alive, we have influence. And that's, I believe, an inescapable responsibility, that what we do matters to other people. And just a little smile or an unkind word, you know, to put it the other way around, could be very far-reaching. So we should be careful. And the thing I love about Nikken is, rather than just kind of having a regular job and kind of bungling around, where we're actually taught the product, the marketing plan, the training that we all have, all come together to make this actually our prime directive, to influence people in as great a way as possible, in as great a number of people as possible. And wow, you get involved with us and really try, you can make a big splash. And you know, just the fact that we're all here together just kind of gets me thinking, you know, we all need a mentor. We need to find somebody that personality kind of matches and clicks. So when I first got in, my original sponsor, I really didn't click with him as far as our personality. Plus, he was new. He didn't know really much more than I did. And so I immediately kind of skipped by him. There's no chain of command, something rigid. Find somebody, hopefully in your active upline, but find somebody that's very successful, that's where you want to be, and learn what it is they do, and then you do the same thing over and over. And then what you were talking about, Jeff, is recognizing the things that are essential and then do them every day. Because the big difference between a successful person and a failure is just what they do daily. Your daily agenda is everything, and there's certain things that you want to do in Nikken over and over again, and I guess number one is talk to people. If you're not talking to people, you're not working, and it's not going to happen. And then just go for it. We've got so much going. I'm so thankful I bumped into Viggo and this RiTraining. I've read a lot of books, looked at a lot of training. It's all good stuff, but this is real powerful. This is a game changer. Recommend that you seriously look at that. Viggo, how would you get involved to first look at this? Well, I would say maybe step one is get the book, 6 Figures in 6 Months. Read the book. At the back, there's a little code to do an evaluation and see where you're at, and then just go forward. What would be some of those steps, and how would you get plugged into it?
Well, and you hit on it. The first thing is get the book, 6 Figures in 6 Months. And it's a very interesting, it's a novel, it's not a manual, and you'll get involved with Steve in the book. And in fact, when I first read it the first time, I couldn't put it down, because I'm going to say, man, what's he going to do, and what's Glenda going to do? Boy, how are they going to react to this input? And it was so true to life of what we go through in network marketing. I find that people who are fairly new don't relate to the book as much as people who have been in the industry for a while. They relate to that. They relate to the characters. They relate, I was there, or I wish I had somebody like this, or different things. So that's what's great about the book. Yes, take the PE profile. It's at the back of the book. It's got the code in there. You get a free PE profile. It'll take a nice printout, tell you exactly what you do know, which is kind of nice. You don't want to keep learning what you already know. Green, yellow saying, well, these are things you could get by on, and red are these are skills that you need to be successful in this industry. And when we know what we don't know, we need to go out and know what we need to know. Mm-hmm. And then we give you the opportunity of going on to either the Bojabi University or the RiTraining Pet Builder, and there you can learn those skills. 724. And you as a leader, you don't have to teach those skills. You let the system teach the skills, and you do what you do best as a leader. You sit down with your people and help them recruit. You teach them about the compensation plan, and you teach them about the products. Let the training take care of itself there, and you can go down. And that's why you can work down among your organization, build a strong organization, because you're doing what you need to be doing best as a leader, and that's helping recruit people into their own organization.
And then tell them what school to go to, and
yep.
sign up for it, and register for your tuition, which is
yep.
pretty good deal. That's kind of how I look at it. Is if you want to be good, And I think one of the best decisions you could ever do to have a happy life is find something that stirs your soul, just get your juices going, and then determine to be one of the top players in it. I think that's some of the most satisfying things is to be really good in something that you love to do. And with the training, with all of this in place, wow, this is your moment. This is your day. This is your turn to shine. And why not just see how good you really are? And we all, I think, realize, kind of like William James mentioned so long ago, that all of us really understand that that on any given day, that the incitements of that particular day don't call forth the enormous reserves that we really have. And that's the thing I've really loved about Nikken, is it does have you kind of in an accelerated form of life, because all of a sudden, just all the time, you're thinking about this high and noble mission, this great cause, and you do perform more. Where I've had jobs that just didn't stir anything in me. I've owned a business that really wasn't that excited. If I had a good Monday or Tuesday, the rest of the week I didn't really perform that much, because now I had the money I needed, and that was the only reason I was doing it. This is something where all of a sudden I was doing Nikken, and my accountant mentioned I was a millionaire, and I thought, golly, that's kind of neat. And then I just kept going anyway, because that wasn't something I was looking for. It was just that wasn't my goal. I wanted to, well, I did want to make lots of money, but I really wanted to make a difference. And that's, I think, what I think all of us want to do. The older we get, I think that's what really matters the most. That the real wealth is the width and the depth of relationships. And boy, Nikken pays that in spades. So anyway, I can't think of anything else to say other than just go do it. Get plugged in and run as fast as you can. Make this your best year ever. Jeff, any closing thoughts?
I agree, Dave. It's a choice. At the end of the day, it's a choice. And success is a choice. And people have, if they look inside themselves, they have the gift, the talents they need. The information is out there. This information, this knowledge that Viggo is talking about is readily accessible. And people can access the information and tools that they need. They can use the gifts and qualities they have inside themselves. And then it just becomes a choice. Choosing to do it. How do you run a marathon? One block at a time. How do you train for a marathon? One block at a time. You run around the block once. That's your first training day. Next day, you run 2 blocks. It can be done, little by little. How do you eat an elephant? Eat it one bite at a time.
Yeah.
So begin. Begin. Start right now. Go pick up the phone. Dave, when this video ends, go pick up the phone and call someone. Call somebody. Reach out to somebody. Don't say, yeah, that was a really nice video. Dave and Viggo did a great job. Jeff is inspiring. Go and pick up the phone and make something happen.
Passion and action. Learn, yes, and then do.
Yes. Do. And yeah, sometimes you just do, even before you learn.
Yeah, the great American philosopher Michael Jordan, famous quote, just do it.
Just do it.
All right. Hey, thanks, everybody.